I'm upset due to having no date experiences. I'm 25 and I haven't dated anyone or had sex. I don't know how to overcome this feeling. I don't get why it's easy for everyone else but me. Despite trying my best to put myself out there, I haven't been in a relationship or had sex. I've tried dating apps, asking people out in person, and going to social events, but it's not enough. I thought college would be the time to have fun. But I was still too anxious, awkward, and hints flew over my head. I can't establish a natural relationship with someone else. I feel alienated because of it. It irritates me when I see people younger than me holding hands, or when I see friends posting pics and updates with their partner. Why wasn't I good enough for that experience? I feel extremely angry with my circumstances. Angry that I put in so much effort for something that's natural for others without getting the results I want. I guess being bitter is a turn off. But how else am I supposed to feel? Am I supposed to be jumping with joy that I've been rejected my entire life? Be open about your awkwardness, especially on apps. I tell people out the gate, I'm an awkward introvert / homebody, and subtle hints go over my head. It dropped my interactions a lot, but it allowed me to be more comfortable not having to pretend. Your self-worth / confidence will come out in your dialogue, and it will absolutely impact how other people interact with you and treat you. Believe that you are good enough, that you are worthy. Don't compare yourself to people that you see online. The people on the internet don't show you all the facets of their relationships. And what they post is just that, a post. It may just be that you are not your type's type. Maybe try going outside of your usual. See how that works for you. This is a very nice comment. Listen to it, OP. There's always more that can be tried. You haven't exhausted all options until you've exhausted all options. 100% about the social media. I deleted social media now at age 28 after being single for a couple years. Made me realize I was putting pressure on myself because of it. Remember that in dating you want to find someone you like too, not just the other way around. Yes. Don't put yourself down, but be very matter of fact and upfront about your struggles. A lot of girls will appreciate the honesty and the confidence to admit that is refreshing. That's a definite maybe. I felt the same way as original post at 25. At 31 the anger subsided, but I'm otherwise the same. He needs to fundamentally change who he is. Yet I think this advice is a little suspect. If a great-looking guy talks about being awkward, girls will love it. If the guy is below average and his profile is about being awkward, he's going to get very little attention. Most women like social, confident men. I think that works. I've been talking to a girl on Tinder. I'm quite good at texting, but I let her know that I'm kind awkward during meets and all. She's cool with it and we're still meeting. That's exactly how my husband was when we started dating. He was so smooth in text but really quiet in person. It took a while for him to feel comfortable enough in person to really let his personality show. But once I figured that out, it was good. I think letting someone know up front is a good way to handle it. This is not going to be helpful, and certainly isn't efficacious in the long run. You're basically giving people a disclaimer and putting the responsibility for dealing with your shit onto them. Communicating "I think I have less self-worth, so treat me accordingly" is a horrible thing to say. It's no surprise that you perceived a drop in quantity of results. But what may not be as apparent is that it's also going to cause a huge drop in your quality of results as well. The real solution is what it inevitably always is: staying consistent at putting in effort with the help of a professional. I think the most important thing is to continuously maintain grace and perspective throughout the process. Instead of focusing on what you lack / what you don't have, hold on to what you do have. Whether that be great friends, supportive family, pets, a place to live, financial stability, whatever. Keep putting effort in, but maybe try something different. Different dating app than the one you've been using. Different dating pool. Dating outside your race, maybe dating outside your age range. Push your comfort zones. Join a hiking group. Go to a local singles mixer, etc. I feel like while doing all that, continue to keep perspective. That whatever is meant for you will not pass you by. It's so easy to feel angry and bitter. Because it's super valid, but at the end of the day, don't know about you, but feeling angry and bitter is exhausting and depressing. It makes it even worse. So let yourself feel the emotions. But move on and think about all the aspects of life you maybe are lucky in and happy with. And know that just because you are not on the same timeline or journey as others, you are not any less worthy than them. Nothing is specifically wrong with you or something that you did. You deserve happiness just as much as the next person. Not everyone is going to find their people at the same time. And it sucks that it almost seems so easy for some people. But I'm firm believer in, and maybe this is just how I cope, but sure is a heck of a lot better than turning into an angry and bitter version of myself. That you will find your partner in the timing that's meant for you when you're actually ready. Until then, stay positive, put in effort, and keep working on yourself, and it'll happen. At the end of the day, we're all born alone and we die alone. You're the steady constant you'll have your whole life. So find solace in your solitude till that person comes in. I didn't meet my first partner until I was 26. I'm not conventionally attractive. Dating through university wasn't great, because I was awkward, and whilst I found it easy to make friends, I was always friend-zoned by every woman I was into. And then dating apps don't really work if you're overweight like I am. By the time I was 24, I was pretty depressed about the whole situation. So I just stopped caring about anything related to dating, and focused on being happy on my own. Focused on my career and hobbies, and found my happiness and some self-confidence that way. Couple of years later, I end up meeting the most amazing woman who, if I had described my ideal partner before meeting her, she would have ticked every single box. And for some reason she found me attractive enough to date me for a while. Lasted less than a year. But it was the first time I'd ever felt loved by anyone other than my immediate family. And it completely changed my perspective on life, and how I thought about relationships and dating. I'd say keep trying. It took me a while to find my groove, and had experienced several failures. Awkwardness, ghosting, and flaking. Don't fall for what you see, it's not the full story. Most the time, people fail and they learn from it. Those couple holding hands mostly had a lot of failure and trial and error before they made it to that point. Keep your head up. I will say, do not become bitter. That's the first step. Becoming bitter will only hurt you and no one else. Whether that's deserved or not. Do whatever you have to do to remain positive, aka not bitter. Why is this exactly me? I'm 25 too. I feel like there is something wrong with me that's beyond my looks. I'm 28 and I've got the same issue. Guess not everyone is meant to be dating. I don't think it's ever easy. It takes a lot of failed attempts before meeting someone. But you just have to keep trying. Being a guy in current dating world is horrible. You have my sympathy, king. I was 27 until I actually dated someone and had sex. You're not alone, trust me, I was there. Sex is like air, it's only a big deal when you're not getting any. I was 24 before I lost my virginity. This was over 10 years ago. And I had to sweat blood to make it happen. The pandemic and current culture isn't making things any easier for young men in this regard. The cruel irony is that once you have done it a few times, or you get a little older, you realize this isn't such a big deal. Having said that, the dating coach's advice has changed little. If you really want to make it happen, get educated, get a job, make money, keep fit/work out, pursue your hobbies. You will sacrifice a lot of time and money chasing women, but women will be attracted to excellence. Good luck. No worries. I'm in the same boat as you, 26 years old. At this point, I don't really care anymore. And don't trust dating app too much, most of them are scammers. I'm 29, have not dated much or ever been in a relationship. I'm not bitter about it though, sometimes annoyed. Like others were saying, these feelings of yours aren't healthy, and are also sabotaging your ability to do better. You need to focus on yourself and mental well-being first. As how can someone else love and want to be with you if you aren't accepting yourself, while also accepting willingness to improve oneself? Once you have done that, my unfortunate advice is to make sure you get out of the house to do activities you enjoy. Make friends, and see what people you meet, who you might be interested in or who may know others. That tracks better than dating apps stats-wise. I've been doing that for years and I still have the same results. It doesn't work. If you've been seeing the same therapist, I'd encourage a change. I went through 3 before I found the right fit for me. If you aren't growing, your therapist isn't a good fit. Your very best chance to meet people is to find something you love to do. Then become an expert on at least one aspect of it. Competence brings confidence, and that is incredibly attractive. Massive oversimplification, but to some degree a therapist is only as good as the person is willing to change. Could also just be that his problems can't be solved by therapy, since therapy as a universal band-aid is hugely overrated. I sounds like it's time for a new therapist. Be very, very honest about how angry/bitter you are with your current or a new therapist. Are your goals in therapy, get a girlfriend? Because it sounds like your goals should be, I need help with this anger before it takes over my life. Don't beat yourself up over this. It's more common than you may think. Keep putting yourself out there, do things that make you happy, and you may see how real osmosis like attracts like. Also, don't forget that most people are garbage, so it could be a blessing that nothing toxic has gotten to you. I can't really say I'm in the same position as you, 'cause I have had some relationships, I just haven't had as many. I've had friends who seem to be switching girlfriends every 2 or 3 weeks to 2 or 3 months. And it's crazy to me having only 3 relationships across my whole life. This is partially due to how busy I was. I just didn't have time. With both school and work, especially as a teenager, have to wake up at 8, and I was lucky if I got to bed by 9. I recommend you get into a physical hobbies class. Some type of martial arts, yoga, Pilates, etc. The reason is it can be multi-purpose. Number 1, it is a physical health activity that will benefit your health and generally help yourself. There are a lot of exercises where you are working with other people, and after you've met in the same class, depending on the activity, or group, once or twice a week for a few months, you'll start to get familiar with your fellow activity mates. A lot of times when I've seen it starts slow with a bit of chatter at the start or end of class, and eventually it will progress into little inside jokes and banter amongst each other during the activity. And sometimes people start inviting each other to events. Or you going to have some yearly holiday events sometime during or after class on the day of a holiday or special event. Perfect time to interact, chat, get to know people, etc. Thanks for the advice. I already go to the gym and salsa classes, so I guess I could look into yoga or boxing or something. Hey, the salsa thing is pretty rad and unique and fun. Do you go out salsa dancing ever? Or have friends who are into it? I think that one is a place where even a tiny bit of confidence goes a long way and can really set you apart from others. Maybe consider focusing simply on finding a compatible dance partner. For the sake of dancing. If you seem to like their personality, then you can be like, I genuinely enjoy dancing with you and you seem cool. Wanna go for a walk / get some coffee sometime? Then, get to know your dance partner. Hopefully have some laughs and go from there. But if they aren't into going deeper, then you have a dance friend. And that's fucking rad too. Lean into what makes you feel alive, bud. Wishing you the best. I understand your pain. I was exactly the same way. But I was younger at the time. I know what you are going through. It feels like you are cursed, but I managed to overcome it. And you can too. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance. But it can be done. It's certainly not fair that so many others have it so easy. But it is what it is. You are not defeated. You can win this. You can win the love you deserve. But you have to believe it is possible. I bet you're better looking than me. That helps, and proves that if I can do it, you can, too. PM me if you wish. Some of the advice here is good. Faulty assumption. Some people are naturals. But many start being shit at it and get somewhat better with time. It's important not to wallow. If you fixate on what you don't have, you'll just become bitter and obsessive. Try to turn those negative thoughts into positive actions. Find things you love to do, branch out a little bit. Find people who are interested in the same things. You already have shared interests in common, which will help you with getting conversation going. I was in a similar position of awkwardness, discomfort, and self-hatred a bit back, but over time, I began experimenting with my look, doing more things I genuinely enjoy, embracing my personality, and learning to love myself. And gaining self-confidence has really paid off. Therapy was very helpful as well. Now, that's not to say stop trying to find someone entirely. But don't make it the focal point of your existence. You were put on this earth for much more than that. People are more attractive when you see them having fun, smiling, enjoying life. No one wants to spend time with someone who complains or is constantly negative. I'm not saying that to be rude, I just think it's something you should consider. If you're feeling bitter, odds are that the people around you can tell. Probably not full of laughs and smiles. Possibly not very social even in social situations. These are things you can work on. It's not your looks. Just know that. No matter what your looks are, that's not enough to stop you from getting a date. A lot of guys and girls get caught thinking they're not attractive enough, and that's why they're not getting dates. But that's not the reason. It's almost always a personality or communication issue. Be careful what resources you use to learn what women like. Don't fall for that alpha/beta male trash. If you have female friends, ask them for advice. There's a lot of trash info online when it comes to this stuff. I partially agree. Learning online from the wrong people can definitely put you in some dark places that doesn't help or move you forward. So you do need to make sure you don't get sucked into bad, negative and victim mentally mindsets. Where I disagree is about the part of asking girls for advice. Most girls, not all, are not objective enough to say the truth. And as it is when it comes to advice to man, and quite frequently don't necessarily know themselves what specifically triggers them for attraction. Apart from obvious, general stuff like confidence, charisma, etc., which are nice buzzwords. But for someone trying to learn to better himself, won't work. He needs specific direction. That's fair. I've had good luck when asking my lady friends. It's an exercise in self-awareness too. I always have to be complete in my descriptions of what's being said and done. Also, women over 30 are better resources than girls in their early 20s. You need someone with life experience. Definitely agree. This guy gets it. Seldom can you get subjective advice from a woman regarding men. Men and women are different. Honestly, from similar experience. You need to first be comfortable with who you are. Take a break from trying to date, and make sure you have a rich life with friends and hobbies and work. Get to the point where you are honestly really happy with your life. You really like who you are. And where you honestly are open either way to finding someone or not. Then try dating. Because if you are dating for validation, or dating because everyone else is, or dating because you think it'll help your self-esteem, your date will feel the wrong vibes. You need to be going on a date because it's fun to date, with no preemptive expectations that your date will become anything more. The moment you stop looking for it, that's when it'll come. I agree that the times I've taken a legit break in one sense or another or have lowered my expectations to almost null has shown me opportunities to explore. In a couple cases, I've accepted some situations with women that they are friends, nothing else. And given a long enough time period, things changed. Personally for me, I didn't really care much about the idea that college would be the time to have fun. I tried dating apps myself, but often talking to women and pretty complicated. There were a few that I was able to exchange social media, but just eventually became dry with me and ghosts. I'm 22 and I had 2 dates with 2 women, but only saw them just once when first meeting them, as they never responded back and went ghost mode. I did however dated a girl I met naturally through friends, and we had 4 great dates. I thought things were really gonna lead to somewhere as we slowly progress, but sadly due to valid reasons of her own issues, she's a very workaholic person that focuses a lot in her career and school, and that she isn't ready for a relationship. I hope it's true to what she said, and it really seemed like she actually wanted the experience with me to sometime progress further to possible relationship. But career and school was the choice she had to make, and I respect her decision. She still wanted to be friends with me and I accepted, but sadly it just isn't the same anymore. My bad if this got off topic. I also never had sex with anyone yet myself. It can be upsetting that we virgins haven't had the experience yet. For me it was one of my insecurities that a woman wouldn't want to date someone with no experience. But I eventually started to care less about virginity with myself, and not think about it as much. Lucky for you, based on your comments. It sounds like you're not ugly at all. That's a great start. I'm in the same boat, friend. We just got to keep trying. Had sex, no relationship. I was scoring in the worst possible ways by having casual, drunken sex. It was the only way. The fear was dull enough. Don't do what I did. Forget about quantity. Go for quality instead. First of all, you're good enough, like everyone else. Of course I understand that it can be frustrating when you already tried a lot, what is a good thing, but unfortunately not the results or desires you wanted. So, that you feel like this, that's normal. If you were happy with this, you wouldn't be a human. Unfortunately, how we feel and think about ourselves is mostly our physical reality, what never lies. The question you maybe can ask yourself is, do you really want to change this, and are you not afraid when you can become successful in this? Most people are afraid for success or change in their life. I was that too before, so that's human. It's always choice, not chance, to make your destiny. It's your call. Media gives us unrealistic ideas about what a mate should be. Try lowering your standards by a lot. It's not a nice thought, but one you may have to confront. You may just be looking at the wrong women. I lost my virginity at 25 and I hadn't dated anybody. I'm in my 30s and have no problem with either now. Give yourself time and don't let society pressure you. Just meet as many people as you can. And it will naturally happen with the right person. Sex is on a steep decline in recent years. It's not easy for everyone else. Thanks for watching my video.